I asked you about, men being vulnerable, and you had said something along the lines of that. That's, men that do that, that's a sign they're weak, they're soft.
Yeah.
Where does that belief stem from?
50 Cent said it the best. Depression is a luxury. So I come from nothing. I grew up alone. Father is selfish, never cared around. He was always not around. Mother left me. She went to California, so had no food sometimes. But I never been a victim. I was poor. I might have got broken. Girlfriend broke over me. I might have been sad. I might have been mad. I might have been depressed. But I couldn't sit there in my room and cry. I had to get up and work and grind. Feelings are good. Like when I'm mad, I love it. I like being fucking happy. I just know how to control them. I think people that don't know how to control their emotions, they're still not growing up yet. My wife cries. I don't show my wife my feelings. I'm a man. I take care of the shit. There was this girl, her name was Cindy. It was like 8th grade. I used to tell my friends, I'm gonna ask her to school dance. And I was young, I didn't know. And I remember I was walking this way and she was walking across me. And I said, Cindy, will you go to school dance with me? And she looked at me, she goes, I don't date fat people. To me, that was the best thing that happened to me in my entire life. From that day to now that I'm 42 years old, I go to the gym every day. That day I started doing crunches. Because that day I was a 4-time state champion. Because that day I became a 2-time world champion.
Welcome, everyone, to the Beyond the Cover podcast. My intent with creating this podcast was to provide a platform where men can speak openly about their journeys with mental health without fear of judgment while doing so. While I, the host, or you, the listener, may not agree with everything or anything that a certain guest says for that matter, my focus is not to decipher what is right or wrong. Rather, it's to gain a better understanding of why somebody thinks and acts the way that they do. And with this understanding, we will begin to make better sense of our own lives and the world around us. So join me as we open the books into these men's journeys and dissect the pages within. Today's guest is Benny Madrid. As you, the listener, will hear today, Benny had quite a very unique upbringing, facing adversity from a very young age. I'm excited for you, the listener, today to hear about his never quit attitude and just do it mentality that ultimately led him to where he is today. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Benny Madrid, welcome to Beyond the Cover.
Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, man, I'm excited to have this conversation because it's an important one. As you know, I told you this is a men's mental health podcast, and you have some viewpoints on mental health, and that's what I'm excited to talk about today. Mm-hmm. It's essential that all sides are covered. So first off, I want to talk about on the cover who you are, or what you've done rather. So you were a former Bellator fighter, also World Series fighting contender. I believe you had an 8-3 record.
8-0.
8-0.
No, I think it's like, I don't know.
You had a winning record. You were a good fighter.
Yeah,
I mean, you were very good at what you did.
Yeah.
And you're still very good at what you do because now you are owner of a marketing and sales consulting firm. And I have to share this story because it's not that material possessions show success, but I think it shows that I thought it was pretty humorous and showed that like when you want something, you just go for it. You and I had a conversation one day. You said, man, I'm looking, if I could find this white Ferrari, I would, I got to see if I can find this. And I talked to a buddy that had a dealership and he sends it over to me. I sent it to you. I'm like, hey, here's one. And you go, oh, I like that. 3 days later, I see you roll up and I'm like, oh, it's been 3 days, bro. You already got it. For me, honestly, it was more than just a car though. It was in that moment. It's like this guy, if he wants something, he goes for it. And obviously you have to come from a place of success. And so you clearly have the financial side of things figured out. You also know who you are. You just keep things real. And on that note, you have some beliefs around mental health that I want to jump into a little deeper. When we, you had brought up to me that you saw a video of mine on TikTok.
Yeah.
And you said, bro, what are you doing? What are you doing talking about this stuff? And I asked you about, men being vulnerable. And you had said something along the lines of that. That's, men that do that, that's a sign that they're weak, they're soft. And you even use the word like they're a pussy.
Yeah.
Where, talk me through that. Where does that belief stem from?
So again, this is my beliefs,
Mm-hmm.
and it's helped me come through all the pain and all the struggles I have. It made it easier, I guess. So 50 Cent said it the best. 50 Cent has a video I heard the other day, and it said, and I really do believe this, and it says, depression is a luxury, and I'm like, and I'm thinking, why is it a luxury?
Mm-hmm.
So I come from nothing. I had no food sometimes. I come from, if you can name it, a poor American. America's not like other countries, but poor for America. I'm one of the more, like, I was really poor. Americans are spoiled, but to say you're poor in America, it's like,
it's all perspective, right? I mean,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And but I've never been a victim. I always came through. I was a millionaire. I can explain the rest of the story. But 50 Cent, you gotta be privileged. And I'm like, why did you say that? And it hit me because it's true. I was poor. I might have got broken. Girlfriend broke up with me. I might have been sad. I might have been mad. I might have been depressed. But I couldn't sit there in my room and cry. I had to get up and work and grind. So when I got up and worked and I grind, I went outside in the sun, I felt better. You know what I mean? Now my son has this privilege, but I don't let him. I talk to him about it. But my son can say, hey, I'm depressed, and he can close the blinds and sleep all day. I couldn't. I don't care what I had to do. I had to grind and make money. So that to me, it spoke to me because it's true. Everything's a choice in life. You can take it however you want. And again, it's my beliefs. A lot of people hate it, but I'm not gonna. It's you gotta stand for something. Men don't stand for nothing. Women don't stand for nothing no more. They run with the herd.
Why do you think that is?
I wish I could change that, because people that stand for something, it's really good. If you know who they are, if they're assholes, they're assholes. Like me. Just know I'm an asshole. But you know who I am. You know I'm an honest person. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm not going to lie to you. So that's, to me, I like honest people. And if you're the opposite of me, a thief, a robber, whatever, lies, I know who you are. It's black and white. I hate gray. A lot of people like to be in the gray. Just tell me who you are. And I always thought like that. I don't know, as when I was a kid, I always wanted to think different. I could have been a victim, like, because I'm Mexican and because where I grew up at, 99% statistics are, the school I grew up at, 10% of the people didn't graduate. No, 10% of people graduated, 90% didn't. You're either gains or pregnant. That didn't happen to me. I was a millionaire at the age of 21. So I don't know. I just grind. I did the opposite everybody else did. So depression is now. I'm not saying I don't. Feelings are good. Like when I'm mad, I love it. I like being fucking mad. I like being fucking happy, because if I was never mad, I wouldn't know what happiness is. If I wasn't sad, I wouldn't know what happy. I like feelings. I just know how to control them. I think people that don't know how to control their emotions, they're still not growing up yet. So when you tell me that depression is real, I'm like, no, I don't have no feelings. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm old school. Like, my wife cries. I don't show my wife my feelings. She's like, you gotta, no, I'm a man. I take care of the shit. I come through.
If you were to show emotion in that degree, how do you think that would present or be received?
I really don't care what people think. I gotta come through for them. My feelings don't matter. Like the world, like if I was a president right now, I don't care what I'm feeling. I got to come through for the guys. I got to come through for the world. So my feelings don't fucking matter. So my son, he needs to see a man. We forget that. He needs to see a real man that comes through. Your example is everything. People don't understand that. If you don't have a good example, everybody's watching you. Mm-hmm. And people, and again, this is my opinion. I just see people that are weak. I can't follow a weak person. I'm not talking about politics, but right now it's hard for me to follow fucking Biden. Fucking falling asleep in front of the whole, saying some crazy shit. I don't like that. I like when Trump told the guy, and I'm not a Trump. I don't like care who it is, but I like when Trump told somebody, if you don't do this, I got a picture of your house and your family there. If you don't get it, let my people get out. Something's gonna happen to your family. I think that's a real man. It's protecting our country.
You talked about your upbringing. You alluded to it. You grew up in a rough area.
Yeah.
When you were in that place, is this mindset that you now possess, where you're like, I have to be strong. I can't be showing emotion outwardly, certain emotions. Do you feel that your environment growing up shaped you to who you are today?
I don't like to lie, so I'm trying to think back. Did it shape me? I don't know. Like, yeah, maybe. Like, I grew up alone. I didn't have no father is selfish, never cared around. He was always not around. Mother left me. She went to California. So I didn't really, love wasn't there. I didn't feel love until way later on in life. Okay. I had a guy that in Arizona, it's organized crime. It's not like Chicago or New York. Here, you got to watch what you do. The border surrounds us, so it's way more organized because of the drugs that cross by here. So I had one of the biggest drug dealers in the whole West Coast had a house where I grew up at, and he taught me a lot. He taught me, and it's the worst thing. But have you ever seen that movie, Sunny? They're in New York, and the guy teaches the kid from college how to be a good kid.
I'm the last guy to ask about movies. I'm terrible with movies.
It was a drug dealer. He was a gangster from New York, and he taught this guy how to have good values. And the drug dealer, the guy that mentored me at the time, he had good values. He was in a bad situations in bad areas, but he had good values. He didn't steal. He didn't lie. He honored. He cared about his people. Now, to me, I just wanted to be a part of something. And I remember I was a part of that. And I saw all kinds of stuff. But so I'm trying to go back and tell you the stories. I don't see it. Like, I just remember that people would be victims, and I just didn't want to be them. I saw weak people. Like, I remember I had a girlfriend. I remember I tell this story a lot. To me, it's like, it made me the person I am. There was this girl, her name was Cindy. I'm not going to say her last name because I don't want to. But, dude, I remember I liked her a lot. And I told all my friends. And I was really popular in school because I was just a cool dude. Like, I always been the same guy. And I used to sell candies. So I was really popular because I was a candy. And I was chunky. And I had a backpack, and I walk around. But I always had nice gears because I made like $200, and I'll buy new clothes. Like, I look good all the time. Yeah. So that's why I never knew why people were broke. I was like, why don't you have money? I never understood. People were like, I eat from this trash. And I'm like, why? You have 2 hands, 2 feet. You're just fucking lazy. I never understood them. I was like, go fucking make money. Like, I used to cut yards. You tell me, wash cars. I was the best. If you tell me to do something, I did it with a passion. Like, when I cut your yards, I made sure you loved it. Like, I'd be like, hey, I remember Mrs. I don't even know the name. I was like, can I cut your yard? She'd be like, yeah. And I said, how much you charge me? I said, pay me whatever you're going to look what I do and pay me whatever you want. And I remember I'll cut her yard, and then she'll come out and she's like, dude, you did like I got to pay you more. And I'm like, no, $20 was good. No, they go give me $80. She'll go to the bank. She'll be like, no, you did a great job. So whatever I did, I washed your car. I'll wash it like it was mine. I took passion. I was passionate about everything. I always been passionate about when I do something, I do 110%. And this girl was beautiful. Her name was Cindy. I'm not gonna say her name.
You almost slipped on that one.
She, I was like, I told all my friends, hey, there's a school dance. So when I was growing up, like there was really like, you had to talk to a girl. You didn't swipe. Like you went up to a girl and asked her to date. And at the end of it was like 8th grade or 7th grade, 6th grade. I forgot what it was. But you had to ask her, hey, will you go on a date with me? To the school dance. It's the last school dance. And we're so innocent because you didn't have porn in those days or nothing like that. But you used to dance with her the last school dance and then you used to touch her hips. Oh, you touched her hips. You thought you were the shit. Like
I remember. Yeah.
And but the school dance was the best because the girl would wait for the guy to ask her, right? But none of my friends, nobody in school, and Cindy was the prettiest one. I come from like Mexican, so there's a bunch of dark-skinned girls there, and I just don't like Mexican girls. Nothing wrong with them, but I'm not attracted to them.
Yeah.
You met my wife, blonde hair, beautiful. So my preference is like, I like blondes, but she was mixed. She had white and mixed, so she was light-skinned. She had like the gold hair, and she was different from everyone. She had kind of color eyes. So I was in love with Cindy. And I told everybody, I used to tell my friends, I'm gonna ask her to school dance. And they're like, all right. So nobody, she's off limits. Benny wants her, she's off limits. And I was laughing because they were protecting me. And I told my friends, hey, I'm going to ask her this date. And I remember I'll go and practice. I'll go in the mirror and I'll be like, Cindy, will you go to school dance with me? I got a flower. I remember I look at myself in the mirror and I was
trying to hype yourself up.
Yeah, trying to see how I'm going to ask her. I'll like find ways. I'll get on my knees. No. And I was young. I didn't know. And I remember I was walking this way and she was walking across me. We always meet up. And I remember we would meet up and I'd be like, hi, Cindy. And she'd be like, what, Benny? But every day. Mm-hmm. And this day, everybody went around us. And we were in the middle. And I said, Cindy, will you go to school dance with me? And she looked at me. She goes, I don't date fat people. To me, that was the best thing that happened to me in my entire life. Everybody's like, why? Because from that day to now that I'm 42 years old, I'm going to turn 42 next month. I've been fit. I go to the gym every day. That day, I started doing crunches. Because of that day, I was a 4-time state champion. Because of that day, I became a 2-time world champion. Because of that day, I could take my shirt off right now at 42 years old. If I didn't have her, I'd be in trouble. I don't know what would have happened. So that pain, like that, when people come in, I could have went in depression that day and just ate more chicken tenders and more Oreo cookies, but I didn't. I'm like, I got to face life. It's true. That's when people say bullying. I think bullying to me made me better. People used to bully me. I loved it. I was like, all right. I liked it. It made me who I am. Like if I take all that back and nobody would have bullied me, I would have been probably a pussy like you. Like,
what? No, you bring up a point that actually I had this in a previous discussion.
Sorry.
No, it's totally fine. This is fun, and I knew you were going to be throwing some zingers at me here and there. But we have this mutual respect, and we don't have to have the same opinions. But one thing that I do agree with you, and it's an interesting discussion. It's on the topic of bullying. There's people that want to get rid of it completely. And they say that it's not helpful and there's no place, to have it in society. I was bullied a lot growing up. I was small.
How in the fuck are you bullied? Look how big you are.
I wasn't always. That's what I'm saying.
I know. You told me the story.
And
I was like, look how fucking big you are. You can just.
But the way that people treated me, I became so angry that I took it upon myself to build this Hulk of a being so that it would stop the bullying. But because I built this version of me, all of a sudden, now I was a bigger football player and a better athlete, and it was a catalyst. Mm. And I really do attribute the bullying to my growth as a human being. I would not be the same person had I not been bullied. So a lot of people can't take that. They go, no, there's no place for bullying. And as you just mentioned, it led to who you are today. Do you feel that there's a point at which it becomes excessive, where bullying can be detrimental? Do you feel like there's a fine balance? Do you think everyone needs to have a little bit of be bullied a little bit in their life? What's your stance in that regard?
I don't know. Like I'm telling you, like there was kids that didn't like me because people under me looked up to me. People my age loved me, and then there was the next age hated me where I grew up at. They didn't like me at all. And then they call them OGs where I grew up at. They loved me, but that group hated me. And I remember I hated going to school because they'll wait for me. We had where you had to walk in, and they'll wait for me, and they used to push me and spit on me. And but I remember I trained. I'll go and fight and I'll spar, and it got me to one of the bullies that used to bully me. His name was Anthony. Oh man, I remember finally, like after he bullied me forever, I beat him up. Like I made him look. He didn't even get like one punch on me, but I remember beating him up, and I just looked at him like, "That's all you had." Because bullies are not like, if you stand up for yourself, you're fine. But I remember he bullied me, but it was the best thing because it made me strong-minded. Like people want to. I won't take it back. I don't know if I would have been a good fighter. I don't think I would have been a warrior like who I am. So when you tell me, do you think when is the limit? I don't know. I don't know what's the limit. Again, those neighborhoods, they bully people way more because nobody's going to tell the teacher. The teacher don't care what you say. But it makes you tough. Like even the nerds. I remember we used to drive on the bus to go to Carhaden. Carhaden is like, I grew up on 35th, so it's like 5-6 miles, and you take the bus. And when you take the bus, even if you're not from a gang, because we were from the south side, and we had to go to a west side school. We had to get off the bus and fight. Carhaden was in the late 90s. It was the worst school ever. You had to fight, and even the nerds. I'll be laughing because they'd be putting on. They were fighting because you had to fight. If you didn't fight, you're gonna get beat up. So even everybody was fighting. So it makes you tougher. I think I don't know. I really don't think I'll regret people bullying me. Like I really like the bullying. I like people bullying me. There was no. Now what's the extent? I don't know. That question you're asking me, I don't know. Is it too much? What is too much? I don't know. Like egging your house. I don't know what's too much. I never got my house, but I don't know. I don't know what's too much. I was such a good person that somebody hated me. They put on the wall, F Benny, fuck Benny, and somebody put love Benny. So I don't know. I don't know what bullying is. Like I don't understand what's too much.
And I just asked the question out of curiosity because there's no right or wrong answer. I just was curious if you had a take on it. What ultimately led to you making, you grew up fighting. That was essential, I guess, in a way for survival. I mean, in this, where you grew up, it's like you had to fight. Otherwise, you're just going to lose because everyone was fighting. Were you just winning all of those fights, and that's why you said, maybe I'm kind of decent at this, I'm going to start professionally fighting? Or what caused you to make that a profession?
So I love wrestling. I used to go to that school, Carhaden, and a coach, his name's Tom Ortiz, one of the best coaches ever. He asked me if I want to wrestle. And I remember I was like, what? And I was lifting weights. I always lift weights. And I was like, what do you mean at school? Because I didn't want to go back to where I came from. Where I came from, again, everybody, this is where I kind of like, you're like the mentality, the weak mentality. I didn't want to go back to my neighborhood because when you went back to my neighborhood, everybody blames society because we're Mexicans. Nobody's going to give us opportunity. Nobody's going to give us jobs. Nobody's going to, what are they going to say? What used to say? They dressed all the same. They wear Dickies and they used to tag up in their own neighborhood. Like I used to be like, we lived in 35th and there was people were right on their walls, 35th. I'm like, why don't you go somewhere else and write that? Like, what the fuck you writing in your own neighborhood? And then they'll beat each other up. I never got that. I'm like, wait, you guys are both protecting the neighborhood. And you guys are beating up each other. It just it didn't make sense to me. So I always try to get away from it. They used to get high together. I used to call it a sausage party. It was nothing but guys, and they'll smoke weed and drink beer. I was like, like, first of all, they used to drink like Mickey's, and that alcohol is fucking disgusting. So I'm like, first, yeah, it's like some cheap alcohol.
Okay.
Or they'll drink any cheap shit that makes them drunk fast. So I was like, why would you drink anyway? And then they'll smoke weed, and to me, there was a loser mentality. So I didn't want nothing to do with them. Nothing. The only ones I liked was the guy that I told you he had a Mercedes Benz in my neighborhood. He had all the girls. He's the one that I first liked white girls because he had 2 blondes. And I was like, dude, I want what he has. But I didn't like that lifestyle and the victim mentality. So I'll go to the gym by myself. And then my coach said, hey, you want to wrestle? And I said, wrestle? And I went to a wrestling team. And I got my ass whooped the first 2 weeks. Bad. I sucked at everything I start. There's nothing. I'm not good at nothing. Like you're like, oh, I'm great at everything now, but I suck at everything when I first started. But for the first 2 weeks, I got mopped the floor with. Like I sucked at it. And then my coach came and he goes, hey, I want you to be part of the team. Sorry about that. Mm-hmm. I said, what? And I'm honest, like you could tell. I'm like, on it, like, what do you mean? I get beat up every day. The only reason I come back because I'm pissed off that everybody's beating me up. And he goes, okay. He goes, that kid that you're wrestling every day, he's a state champion. He used to take you down 20 times. Now he's taking you down 3 or 4 times. He goes, give me 4 years of your life and I'll change your life. And I'm like, so I did that. I guess wrestling, I loved it. And then I went down, the only path I knew was selling drugs. It sounds bad, but that's the only thing I knew how to do at the time. I didn't know better. That's all I knew that would get me out where I came from. And I really became successful at that too. Really successful. Why I didn't want to keep on, I don't know. I never hurt people. Like, I don't have to carry a gun. I don't have to do nothing. But I became like really successful. I made millions of dollars in it, spent a lot of it. But I just didn't know, I would never hurt nobody. So I didn't have that anger. Like I don't know if you know, like I play around, but I don't like street fight or nothing. I think it's stupid. You're going to get hurt. And me and you fight, it's a lose-lose. Like, I'm going to go to jail or my hands hurt or my face going to hurt. One of us is going to get hurt. But we both hurt. Like, I don't like fighting. But so I never liked violence. But everybody liked me because I was honest. I'm a good man. So I always been a leader of everything because I'm a good man. Even where I was in a bad situation, because that's all I knew what to do, I kept everything in order. Nobody got killed. Nobody hurts people. If you owe somebody, you pay. Honesty. And it was selling drugs. How honest could it be? But I was like, whatever I do, I'm going to hold my face and my chest up. And I became successful. And I just didn't like it because then I started seeing the bad side of it. And then I got out of that. Again, I got out of doing that. I didn't like it. And then I started doing construction. And then I got really good at that. And then I hated it outside. And I made it to like $1 million business. And I let my brothers have it. Because they used to work for me. And I hated it. I hate being outside. And I just let them have it. And whatever they did with it, they still have it. But they're crazy. But I started from nothing. I made it real big. And I just didn't like it. And then I went into trucking. I wasted a lot of money in between then because I was just having fun. And then I started a trucking business. And then I went from 1 truck. And then I ended up having 25 trucks. And then I sold it for $3.5 million or something like that. And
what age were you at that point?
I was like 23 at that age.
23.
But I was already a millionaire before that. And at 23, I just wanted to have fun. And I wasted a lot of money. And then at 26, I think I started fighting. So I was already older, 26, 27. I started doing jiu-jitsu. I got my black belt jiu-jitsu. I did kickboxing, and then I ended up fighting at like 27. And then I won 2 titles, and then I got bored. And then I had this mentor that was like telling me 90% of athletes go bankrupt. I didn't know this.
Mm-hmm.
They get all this money and then they take it away.
Yeah, they never had that money.
Yeah.
Probably never grew up with it, didn't have someone influence in their life that could show them what to do when they acquired that much at once.
And then America's it's the land of opportunity. And then he showed me this a business, and I started the business, and I just grew in it fast because it's the mentality of like, I don't know, nothing can stop me.
At what age did you start working? Your very first, whether cutting grass, what was the earliest age you can remember that you started to work?
I was a hustler.
You sound like it.
Like
I'm curious how early you...
I had a backpack and I was selling candy at age 8, maybe.
8 years old.
So I'll buy candies from Costco, and I'll put ice bags all over my bag, and I put a bunch of candy sneakers, and I'll just sell them all day. I was like Biggie Smalls. I hate Nintendo and video games and all that, but I had the video games. I was like 11 years old, and I lived alone. I had my own little place that I rented from a guy, a room in the back, and it was white because I like white. I had white sheets. I've always had everything. I don't know what poor is, I guess.
I'm curious where at 8 years old, most kids, they're playing video games. They're playing outside. They're not starting candy businesses. Do you recall what gave you that idea? Did it just pop in your head one day, or were you watching somebody else that was selling something different? You mentioned that one drug dealer, but were you already interacting with him, or did you see him at the age of 8? I mean, was that already a part of your life?
So I do not understand people. People say I hate money. I'm like, what? I hate people with money. Young people get so manipulated by this, but everybody wants to be financial free.
Mm-hmm.
You don't like money, but you want to be financial free. Do you understand that you're telling the universe that you hate people with money, but you want to be the universe will never let you be financial free. You're pushing away that energy to get you financial free.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody doesn't think they can do it. They don't want to put in the work now these days. I don't know why. I'll work 18 hours a day. Like, you text me, like, if you notice I'm always busy, I will like text you quick because I'm busy all day. I wake up at 5 a.m. and I'm at the gym at the same time you are. Like, you're really consistent too. That's what I love about you. And so money, when I was growing up, it was cool. Like, I like the Ferraris. I like the Lambo, the limos dropping you off, red carpet, beautiful dress, blonde girls, big boobs. I fucking love that. Like, that's America. Like, what are you talking about? I don't like me just sitting around eating carrots because these people, everybody's vegetarian now, carrots and fucking smoking weed and playing video games. I don't understand that fucking life.
Mm-hmm.
That's to me, is like, no, I want to be out with beautiful people, looking good, dressing nice, smelling good, nice haircut. Like, to me, that was Miami Vice. I don't know. That's to me, that life interested me. Like, but what is Warren Buffett, the richest man in the world, right?
He was at some point, I think.
Yeah,
I don't know if he still is, but he's up there.
That life fucking irritates me. Like, that dude does not inspire me at all. That dude is fat, ugly. He has a 1999 Cadillac, right? He goes to the same fucking McDonald's, eats the same shit. I guess he has the same room. It's a green room they talk about. I read his book. The same fucking room. Ugly ass wife. Like, I'm like, that life. Dubai guys, the guys from Dubai, the gold, the all the watches, all the expensive cars, high rise. I think that's beautiful to me. That what life makes me want to do more. I want to work hard for something. I don't want to work for nothing. That dude's crazy. I'm like, what? Like, but he has 2 wives, right? At one point, that's what I read in his book. He had two wives. But I don't. That life I do not get. I do not want to be that dude. That does not inspire me. Compound interest, and why do I need all that money for? I want to spend it. I want to have fun with it. I want to go to nice places. I like to be a movie star. But now it's a sin to say that. Now it's better to eat carrots and play video games and smoke weed. I don't know why. I don't get it.
Do you get bored easily?
Me?
Yeah. If you find yourself in a routine, does it bore you very quickly?
No, it's the weirdest thing because I'm a person that's on routine. I have everything on. Everything has to be on schedule.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not. I wish I was.
But you talk about...
Why do you think that? That was a good question. Why?
Well, because you talk about variety. You talk about you want to enjoy all the experiences of life.
Everything, yeah.
And so to me, that makes me think that you want something different because you want to experience all these things, but yet you are very regimented. I see you in the gym every single morning. So in a way, I mean, is it the balance? Let me ask this. Is your work structured, extremely structured?
It's a sales firm. No,
so every day is different.
No, it's structured, but have you seen Wolf of Wall Street?
Mm-hmm.
Without the strippers and the midgets. That's my office. No cocaine. That's my office. That's what we do. It's sales.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just
have fucking fun and we're enjoying life. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Money, watches, Rolexes. Yeah, that's our job. Like it's not. I don't work for Apple.
Yeah. Yeah, you're your own boss.
Yeah. Fuck. If I work for Apple, I'd be fired the first day.
Yeah, you would not want to be a part. HR would be knocking on your door
for sure. Because I'm honest, I guess.
You are, and listen, I think you're a really great person. I think you're unapologetic. I think you're very authentic from the person I've got to know, and we can have differences of opinion and respect each other all the same.
Yeah, yeah.
I am curious though, just what would you define as a real man?
So I'm starting this group, and it sounds really bad, but it's not the Illuminati. But I want a group that we're gonna be different than everybody else. And they're like, why? Because society right now has these guys. Like I can't imagine me telling my wife, I have anxiety. I can't fix a tire. My wife will probably fucking leave me. My wife is young, but she's an old school mentality. I can't imagine me crying to her every day. I need to talk about my feelings. She'd be like, bro, you got to man up. But I want this society, like, really important to me. I want to leave an impact. Every man needs to leave an impact. And I want to leave an impact. And it's love, health, and success. And people name it different ways. Love is important. Now love, what's love? You got to have your relationship. Your soulmate is important. But your soulmate is this much of love. You need your immediate family. That's a little bit in there. But you need your friends. Like my wedding, a lot of my friends are going. Does that make sense? Friends, people that are paying thousands of dollars to go see me. So you need your friends. You need your community. You need if you go to church, whatever it is. So love is big. But if you just have you and your girlfriend, it's going to be a shitty life. If it's just you and your immediate family, you don't know the world. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So love is, I'm trying to impact the world. I want everybody. I want to love everybody. And people say, well, I don't want to have that many friends. I do. I have good friends. My friends try to develop me, help me out. They don't let me pussy out. They make me man up. If I'm doing something wrong, they call me out on my shit. I like that. But I think men they're not faithful no more. Like this shit, I don't know where it's coming from. Head count don't matter for women and all this. No, it matters. A lot, especially for men. And now society's like, you should sleep with anybody. I'm like, no. Like men would tear, like my wife now, the only reason I think she's Besides all the things she is. She's beautiful, smart, everything. The only reason that made me chase her, I was 37 years old. I would never get married. I never thought I would get married. I'm getting married in a couple weeks.
Mhm.
Never thought I was. That's the last thing I thought. I promise. And but I'll go out with girls for a little bit, even virgins. It took me 3 days, 4 days. Like I don't respect that. Well, respect me for my wife, my future wife. She didn't give it up she didn't even give me a kiss for 3 months. I was fucking pissed. I was like,
3 months for a kiss.
I was like,
yeah,
I'm fucking Benny. Like, what the fuck? Like, it took me virgins 3 days. I didn't respect that because if I can take something from you that's supposedly special, everybody else can take it away from you. If I can talk you into, because guys would talk you into all kinds of shit. I couldn't talk this girl into it. And I'm kind of special. I don't want to be cocky. I'm not cocky. I'm humble. You know that. But I'm a special guy. I'm ambitious. I'm a high value man. And my wife knows that. And she made me fucking wait 3 months. I used to be like, dude, that shit better be gold. I was fucking mad. But when I got it, it was special. I would never leave her. I don't think there's no other woman better than my wife. That's valuable to me. Because if I couldn't get it, average Joe is never going to get that shit. So to me, she's unique. One of a kind. So that to me is a man. I'm starting this group. It's called Love. The other one is health. You have to be healthy. People say, no, you have to be healthy. Like, you feel good healthy. Just look up what happens to your fucking body if you're 155 pounds. Just Google it. All kinds of shit. Diabetes, high blood pressure. Like a lot of people are saying, what's that? The black girl that was really big. What's her name? Linzo, isn't it? Fat. She moving her Lizzo. Big old arms, and everybody's like everybody was idling on her. She even got caught making fun of her dancers, right? Like this shit is getting, she got in a big old. But I was like, that is so mean. You guys are so mean to her. They're like, why? I said, first of all, she's 150 pounds, 200 pounds overweight. So all the shit she's getting, diabetes, blood pressure, heart, all this shit she's getting, if she was my friend, I would never let her do that. Everybody's like, oh, she's powerful. She's walking around halfway naked. People made fun of that lady. Like if she was sitting next to me, I wouldn't eat. I'll get up and leave. It's not a beautiful look. Does that make sense? If I was her friend, like people should be your friend, they should go knock on her door and wake her up every day at 5 o'clock in the morning, take her to the gym. Because if you want to see her alive at 35, you better start helping her now. If you want her to have kids, you better start helping her. If you're a real friend, tell her she needs to stop bullshitting. Get on the treadmill. If you're a real friend. But people will let their friends go through this fucking fucked up hole. What's going to happen to her at 35? You answer that question. If she keeps going the way she's going.
I don't know her current age, but I know that, it's one of the leading causes of death is, I think obesity is up there. Yeah.
She's at least 200 pounds.
I mean, the excess weight wears down on your body day in and day out. Your body has to work harder.
It doesn't mean I'm going to be alive forever. I'm not saying God's going to take me whenever he wants. But while I'm here, I'm going to feel good. But just, to me, people always say that. I don't have respect. Big people, I don't have respect for. I was fat at one point, so I don't respect big people. Ugly people like me, I do. I love you guys. I love ugly people. And everybody's like, why? I said, ugly people, there's nothing I can do. I can make more money, get more surgery, but I got to get some surgery. I can't do nothing about ugliness. But fat, I just put the hammer in. I was disciplined. And they're like, no, it is. It's discipline. I was 100 pounds overweight one time. If you watch my videos, I was 100 pounds overweight. I saw
some old pictures of you, yeah.
Yeah. I lost 100 pounds. It's just that I made a choice. I wanted to be there for my son. So when people say that, so to me, that's important. Health. And then the next one is success. I don't care where you're at in success. I don't know what my limit is or where do I have to. I don't know where I have to. What's my limit? I don't know. I got a couple $1 million in the bank, thank God. Is that it for me? Is that what I don't know. What if it's 100 million? So success, I don't know. What if it's me? I have right now, I'm helping out 300 people. Is it helping out 300 people? Or is it helping out 600? Is it helping out 10 million, 5 million? Is it helping out 8 million? I don't know, but I want to know my max. What could I fucking grind at while I'm here? My brother told me one day, he was like, what do you want? You have everything. I was like, I don't have everything, but what do I want? I said, you know what? I've been thinking, I know what I want. And they're like, what is it? I said, I want to have, Kobe Bryant, when he died, everybody stopped. The world stopped. Because a lot of people have been dying. The older you get, like now I'm like 40. So a lot of people are dying. It's weird. Like I'm seeing a lot of death. And when people die, the world keeps going. They can't stop. Bills keep coming. You cannot be sad. If you stay sad for a couple of days, your house, you can lose your house, you can lose everything. It's the weirdest thing. And I see these people die, they can't even go to the funerals. And I'm like, damn, the world just keeps going. Nothing stops. I remember my wife's brother died, my future wife's brothers died, and she just kept working. I'm like, fuck, the world doesn't stop. And I'm like, the world doesn't give a fuck about you. But I remember when Kobe died, the world stopped. I remember going to the barber. And barber, they're like law of averages. They got to cut hair and hurry up. You're like a number to them. And my barber is really unique. But I went to my barber and he was not cutting hair. And they were all watching the TV. There was like 8 people and everybody was watching the TV. And what's the princess, the one that died? Princess?
I'm not really up to date with current events.
Somebody died. Princess, somebody, she died. And everybody was watching and everybody knew. Mm-hmm. Everybody, I was TikTok, Instagram, everybody, the name was all, I was like, even like when I was growing up, what's his name? O.J. Simpson. Mm-hmm. Everybody was watching TV when he was in the Broncos. I was
glued to the TV screen when that was.
There was this girl, Mexican girl, her name was Selena. She died, everybody was glued. So I told my brother, you know what, when I die, I want the world to stop, just like them. So every time I talk to somebody, I got to impact them. And my brother's like, dude, you're a fucking egomaniac. You're statistical. What do the guys call it? I don't know. Egotistical,
yeah.
And I was like, and I was like, shit, that hurt me. I was like, my brother. And I remember laying down in bed and falling asleep. And my wife was like, what's wrong? I was like, nothing. And I'm just thinking, I'm like, the whole night I was thinking. And then I remember getting up in the morning, goes, I am a fucking ego. What do you call it? What'd you say?
Egotistical.
Yeah, I am that. I was like, fuck it. Like, I want to die. Like, I want to be up with God and be like, look, God, I made the fucking world slow down for me. I said, I made an impact to all these people, young people, that they're like, fuck, that dude is pretty cool. Remember when he told us not to be pussies? So I do. I want. So this crew that I'm building, I want nothing but people that want to be, that are willing to go through anything, to have all those 3 things. Because I know people that have all those 3 things in life are fulfilled. They're happy. Everybody that has the love, the health, and the success, they're fucking happy. Mm-hmm. Now, if you have the success, like, what is that big fat DJ, the rapper? I don't know what his name is.
DJ Khaled?
Yeah, I don't think he's that happy. You can't see his toes. But he has the success, but his health is bad. Like I don't think he likes his belly, like maybe, I'm just saying, the love, like if you're married to the girl, you really think she likes you or she likes your money? And I think he's married to his own, but still, I'm just saying, like, to me, it's like, that will go through my head every day. If I marry like a beautiful woman, I'm like, does this girl like me for my money? Not for my body, for sure. And like, everybody used to tell me, I date girls, my wife has to be beautiful. And they're like, no, it's personality. Fuck personality. Personality is like way over there for men, especially for men. Personality does not matter. Now, I'm lucky I got personality. But to me, it's look first. I am not going to talk to you if I'm not attracted to you at all. I don't give a fuck what you say. This will be the conversation. Hey, you got to go home because my girlfriend's coming to fuck me. You got to go home. Like, that will be like, you got to come back tomorrow morning to make me laugh, though. But that's honestly, like, I am not going to sleep or have a relationship with somebody I'm not attracted. I don't expect my girlfriend, my wife, my future wife, to fucking sleep with me if she's not attracted to me. I don't expect her not to like me. Like I got to keep myself in shape. Because she's beautiful. She can go get any other guy she wants. That's why I told you to put your shirt on when I met you. But she can get any guy she wants. So I have to keep myself in shape. I have to keep myself looking good too for her. If she met me when I was 175 pounds, now I'm 230, she's not in love with the same fucking guy. Now, if she met me at 230, now I'm 170. Now that I'm 170, it's better. It's a plus for her. But you can't eat the person you met. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like if I met my wife and she's 175 pounds and now she's 250, it's not the same girl. It's not the same girl.
What do you think she loves most about you right now? If she had to pick one thing.
Not my honesty. You know what? She loves my honesty. She loves my humor. I don't care what anybody says. I'm too confident. I guess I just don't care. Life is just too short. And it's me. I hate pretending somebody I am. It's just who I am. You like me, you don't. I don't want somebody to like me for the fake me. It's just, you got to like me for who I am.
You know what I find really interesting, and I think it's worth emphasizing, is previous guests that I've had on, each of you all is successful financially. Each of you is successful in your relationships. And there's a common theme of authenticity that each of you said in your own way. I just am what I am. I don't spend time thinking about other people. I don't fall victim to comparison culture. And I think that's a big part of society nowadays is people spend so much time on social media looking at everyone else's life and saying, well, I don't have that and I never will. And they don't feel good enough. But the common theme I'm seeing amongst individuals like you and the others that I talk to is they're just choosing not to pay attention to it. Something else that you had mentioned too, I want to bring this up. I'm certain I probably know the answer, but do you feel that we have an accountability issue as a society?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. I feel so bad that people can't be themselves. I don't know if you see me. I'm Republican because a reason. You have to stand for something. That's when people are like, oh, I'm in the middle. Like, shut the fuck up. Just pick a fucking side. And everybody's like, why are you Republican? I'll tell you exactly why. My grandma told me once. She said, mijo. She was not even my grandma. She was like neighborhood grandma. Like she was just an old lady that took care of all the kids that were like alone. She'll feed them. And she used to feed me. And so I called her my grandma. And I remember she told me, you are a Democrat. And I'm like, what? What is that? I didn't know. I'm young. She's like, you're a Democrat. You have to vote Democrat. I go, why, Nana? I said, well, they give us the projects. They give us food. They give us government cheese. They give you free schooling. So it's for the poor people. And this is when I'm young. And she's telling me it's for poor people. So you're a Democrat. And I'm like, okay, I'm a Democrat, Nana. And she goes, and the other ones are Republicans. And I'm like, what are those? They're rich. They're snotty. They're not good people. And I remember I'm like, no, I want to be rich. And she's like, you're so stupid. I was like, no, I am Republican. And my nana was like, oh my God, mijo, no, come here. And she was trying, I took off. I remember going to my school and Mr. Munoz was my teacher. I said, Mr. Munoz, I'm Republican. And he goes, what? You're Democrat? Oh, no, I'm Republican. He goes, why? Because I'm going to be rich. I remember he told me, he goes, you're never going to be rich. And I remember telling him, I was like, I was an asshole, I guess, all my life. I said, can I ask you a question, Mr. Munoz? He goes, what? Best teacher ever, though. This teacher was really good. He helped me a lot. I love Mr. Munoz. And he was a big old dude. He choked me so many times. As a teacher, he's funny. But I remember I told Mr. Munoz, how are you going to tell me I'm not going to be a millionaire if you only make $30,000 a year? Oh, he got fucking pissed. Everybody turned red. Get the fuck out of my... And I remember leaving. I'm like, how are you going to tell me? Like you make $30,000 a year. The most respect for him, but you make $30,000 a year. Money's not everything, but it fucking makes your life so fucking cool. Like it's so cool if you don't think about money. It's so fucking cool.
It's one of the biggest societal struggles is financial, just the stress. It's one of the biggest stressors. How do you think we fight back against this accountability issue? I mean, do you think it's possible? I mean, do you think as a society we can reverse this direction that we're headed?
Yeah, because it always does this though. It always goes one way too much and then goes the other way too much. This is patterns. If you look at our patterns of society, back in the days, it just goes from one side to another side. Jordan Peterson said it the best way. Soft people make hard times. Hard times make tough people. Tough people make soft times. Right now, we're in hard fucking times. It's going to create some hard men and women. I think women are better than fucking men. But it's going to create it. And women control everything. I blame this society right now where we're at. It's because of women. I promise. Because women are okay with guys that play video games. And guys will fucking play video games. But once you get married and you have a kid and you're playing video games, your wife will fuck you up or you're playing video games instead of spending time with them. They'll be like, there ain't no men that are 40 years old playing games. Your wife, you have to spend time with your kids and your wife. You have no time to be playing video games. But the girls now these days, they're okay with swipe. Like girls that have Tinders, I'm like, why would you have a Tinder? Like all guys are going to do is they know Tinder's for sex. So my friends will get on there and they do law of averages. Like I'm just going to put to all of them. And I'm like, what? All of them? He goes, yeah, yes. Let's see which one picks. I'm like, what? Like, if you have a Tinder, you know what a guy wants. You're not going to find a relationship. Now, there might be 1 out of 1,000,000 that they might happen, but not going to happen. So, yeah, we can change it. If we all just let people speak their opinion. Don't let them, like, what is that cancel culture?
Cancel culture.
Yeah, let them fucking talk. Let everybody say whatever. That's why I like Elon Musk. He gave us our speech back. Let people fucking type whatever they want. You can delete them, block them. If you don't like what they're saying, stop watching their page. Like somebody was telling me about here in Arizona, the riots. It was Black Lives Matter. What was it? Black Lives Matter?
I mean, when that was happening, that was in St. Louis.
But here too. It was here. There was a little riot. I was like, fucking Mexicans were doing it. Essays. So what are we doing this shit for? I'm like, shit, we want some free shit. I was like, they were just doing it because everybody was doing it. I was like, fuck no, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I think you mentioned something there at the end, and I think it's important that, and I agree with you, this accountability issue that we have or lack of we need to start allowing people to speak up without trying to shut them down. And just, it's okay to have an opinion. I think in today's society, people feel like they can't have an opinion because if they stand on one side, they're going to get torn to shreds. The reality is that if you believe something, you believe it. And at the end of the day, if it's not really harming anybody, then it's okay for you to believe it. Why are we trying to silence people? And I think that's my personal opinion is what's leading us to have worse mental health issues is people feel like they can't be themselves. They can't speak up.
Yeah.
And so I agree with you that people just need to be able to speak openly and say, this is how I feel. And we don't have to all agree.
You're my brother. Like I consider you my friend, my brother. Like if you're my friend, bro, I'll do anything for you.
Well, and something
but you told me that about, and I just played with you. But your feelings are your feelings. You want to go and cry in a closet and be a little pussy? Go ahead and do it. Like I'm cool with it. Just when you're with me, don't act like a pussy.
But you know what?
But I love you. Like I don't care. That didn't offend me. I came here on this because I say stupid shit. I know I might get in trouble for some shit I say. I don't give a fuck. But I came here for you because you're my friend. That's it. I don't want to do this. I came for you. I don't get shit off this. They do it like, hey, you want to do it? I don't care about none of it. I just came here for you. That's it. That's the only reason I came in here for. It's just, to me, you're my friend. I'm loyal.
And that's just why, I mean, I have so much respect for you, is because I see you every day with 8 young guys with you. You're constantly mentoring them. You mentioned earlier, I didn't know that, you didn't have a father or mother figure growing up. And I noticed how much you love your son and how much you pour into him. And I think that probably has a lot to do with it, because you didn't have that growing up. And so you really don't want him probably to feel the same way you felt. You pour into people so much. And that's why I was excited to bring you on here, is because I knew that our opinions were different. But this is what should be able to happen. I should be able to look you in the eye. You should be able to look at me and say, kind of acting like a little pussy. And I'm not going to take offense to it, because I have my own set of beliefs and you have your own set of beliefs. And even though they're on separate parts of the spectrum, we still find this central love, really. I mean, when it's interesting, because you tell people a lot you love them. I used to think I couldn't tell other men I loved them. I was like, I thought I was gay, right? That was growing up. It was like, I can't tell another man I love him, then he's going to think I'm gay. But that's the interesting thing, is that we all view things differently. And a lot of times it's like, if we just have these conversations, we can start to understand people, right? And I get so tired of people that just want to be friends with people that have the same beliefs. It's like, push out of your comfort zone, listen to the other side. Right? Like, we have a lot more in common than we realize. And that's why you and me have a mutual respect, because while we have differing viewpoints on mental health, we have a lot of similarities with the way that we decide to conduct ourselves and the way we present ourselves and what we, and showing up every day, day in and day out, and put the work in. And that's why I value this conversation. And so, Benny, I really appreciate it. This is awesome today. I know that there's going to be some people that are going to hear what you say and they're going to be offended, and that's fine, because the honest truth is that there's also going to be some people that are going to hear what you've went through, what you've experienced, and they're going to understand why you're hardwired the way that you are. Because I knew it went a lot deeper than just at face value. You are who you are because of the trials and tribulations, because of the bullying, because of all the things that you went through. And without those, you wouldn't be who you are today. That's what people need to realize. Before they judge you, they need to look at you and say, well, why are you this way? And then once they find out what you've went through, it makes a whole lot more sense. And so I'm very grateful and appreciative that you showed up here today. It means the world. And I know we'll have plenty more conversations off camera, but for today, Benny, thank you so much for coming out.
Anytime, brother. I'm here.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for having me here.